Hi and welcome. I'm Ken Cameron from Music Tech Student. So we're just going to be looking today at the Administrative Support Guide. Now this is a bit late in the day. We're looking at May 13th at the moment, but it's going to be relative every year. So I just thought I'd get it in there because at the moment I've been going through all this and kind of it's still fresh in my head and it's good, and all the pain that I've been through and the fact that it's now 6 o'clock in the evening and I'm still working after a long day, and it's absolutely crazy. And most teachers are feeling the same way, and we're all going through in our heads going, oh my god, I hope we've got it all submitted correctly, and I hope I've done my absolute most to kind of make sure I get my students the marks they deserve. So mine went off today and it's absolutely fine. So just to go through some of the things that I've looked at. So every year at the beginning of September or even in August, Edexcel Pearson, they publish admin support guidance. This can change from time to time. So the one that I'm looking at currently is the 2018/19 version, but you should always check this just to make sure that you are complying with the rules. There'd be nothing worse than you kind of realize that something went wrong at the last minute and then have to change it. So in August, when things are fresh, just check it, make sure everything's okay, make sure there's nothing that's going to kind of cause you any troubles. So we're just going to look at how to submit component 1 and how to submit component 2, and making sure they get there for the 15th of May deadline. So let's just switch over to the browser and I'll show you where this stuff is, and I'll show you kind of the bits that you should be really looking at. It won't be a massively long video. We're going to try and keep it short. I get this question so much that, oh, how do you know you're handing in, or have I done this correctly? So I just figured we'll shine some light on it, so every year we can just go straight there and we can all make sure that we're all answering it properly. So this is the website. It's going to be 2 secs. Here we go. You can find this by a quick Google of just typing in A-level music technology and it comes up. Remember, the AS and the A2 are slightly different, but the guide is in the same place for both, so it's nothing too difficult there. When you get to the A-level music technology 2017 page, you'll be on the specification. So in order to get to the page I'm currently on, you have to click on the course materials, and then it will come to the specification samples, and you just have to click on this tab over here that says teaching and learning. So at the moment you've got a couple of versions here. You've got the 2017 version and the 2018 version. Some of these don't work for some reason. I get a 404 error if I click on this one here. So by clicking on the bottom one, it will open up in a PDF. And once again, these things do change every year, and it's not a particularly long read, so it is worth just checking on it and just check on the components that you're okay with. And it's all sectioned out nice and proper anyway. So if you're teaching AS, you're looking at anything with an 8 in it. So 8MT recording is for AS, 8MT2 is the composing for the AS. And then anything with the 8, so there's component 3 is listening, analysing, and then component 4 producing and analysing. So all of these ones here with the 8 in, that is all AS. So if you want to check your own guidance, if you're teaching AS, these are the ones you should be checking. If you're teaching A2, sorry, that's old money. If you're teaching the full A level, you should be looking at the ones with a 9 on. 9MT1 is component 1, obviously, and it's recording. So we can skip straight through to 25, but if you are teaching AS, then you do want to look at page 15 and just make sure you're submitting it in accordance with those guidelines. So let's head on over to page 25. So I've already got this logged into the browser. So the first thing you come up against is when it should be submitted, how you should submit it. So all of this stuff kind of just dictates when it's going to be submitted and when it comes out, and what the cache code is for each of the components. So as I said before, this is component 1 and it's the recording, and the cache code for it is 9MT001. These get published at a certain time, and it tells you that here as well. But the bit that most people will be interested in, and this is kind of sets out all the requirements that the school should have and things like that, what the student should do. But the thing that most teachers that have been teaching it for 1 or 2 years, or even in their first year, and they're coming up to that May 15th deadline, is the how to submit it section. So what centres must send. So we've got 4 bullet points here of everything you must send, and then these bullet points down here is what must be on each of the CDs. Now this year and as we go forward, each of the components are going to be marked by a different examiner. So you do have to send each piece of work off on its own CD. So component 1 CD is going to be different to component 2 CD. And to make things worse, every student needs to have a CD for each. So as you can imagine, and there's a lot of debate on the Facebook group now about this being a lot of wastage and maybe better ways of submitting it. Now, the reason I think that the administrative guides are going to change every year, because I think we're working towards this digital submission. It certainly makes sense that it's crazy that we're still handing in on a CD and not handing in on a DVD when, to be fair, a lot of the machines that we have don't. But one of the specifications, if you look above on the page above, does say that every centre must have a CD in order to run this course. So a CD player and a CD drive that can burn CDs, So once again, you do need an audio CD for each candidate, and that must have the recording 1 component on it. And the same for component 2, you need a CD for that. And then you must send a data CD or DVD. Now, for most of my work, they're not going on a CD. They all had to go onto a DVD, especially for the recording task. The project was well over a gig for most of them, so you're not going to fit it on a tiny CD. An 8 gig DVD definitely houses it well, so just make sure that your computer has a DVD drive that you can burn as well. You need to send off the logbook, and you also need to send off the attendance register. And it says here also, if you're using Logic X, you must submit the project file as a folder, not a package, which is fairly easy enough. So that's pretty much it. And then the final part, apart from making sure that every CD has this information on it and every DVD has this, and all of the paperwork has this on it, you must also, as a centre, keep backups. And this is what I say to my students: you can't hand your work in on the 14th or the 13th. I need it at least a week, if not 2 weeks before, because it takes me ages to back up all of their projects, to get it all onto the CDs, to check all their work, and to give it a preliminary grade. And that's the one thing the students don't necessarily get. So, oh no sir, it says online that I can hand it in on the 15th. It's like, yeah, I can get it to the 15th, but all of this stuff needs to happen. All of the admin stuff needs to happen by me. So just be a little bit considerate about that. So on the next page, on page 28, you do have the same focus for the component 2 technology-based composition as well, when it must get to the examiner, running through what these centres need in order to provide this. And then if we skip forward, you'll also see that there's the same information here for what these centres must send in order to have it handed in, and then the backup files. So I think that's pretty much it. As long as you know where to get this piece of data from, this information, you're going to be fine. You can just check this each year, and I do expect that it probably will get updated to a more modern submission, hopefully an online submission. That certainly would make a lot more sense. So as I said before, it's definitely a short one. It's not going to be too long. So if you like this content, if you want to see more, if you've got questions, it'd be great to hear from you. Just give us a comment below, or even go to musictechstudent.co.uk and submit a comment there, or ask any questions you want. If you're not a member of the Facebook, the A-Level Music Tech Teachers Facebook group book, you should definitely join that. There's also a Facebook group for the students as well, a Music Tech Student Facebook group, which is not massive at the minute, but there's a few students in there asking questions and getting some advice and things like that. So it might be worthwhile doing that as well. But the teachers one is fantastic. I think we've got about 700 members, and it's so active. Everyone's kind of submitting stuff and getting involved, so definitely do that. If you like this content, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, and I'll see you in the next one.